Hello and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page. My name is Dante Renee, and this is where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, 2013's Revenge of the Alligator Ladies by Jess Franco, and also Antonio Mayans, who you can see a caricature of on the poster art for this film on the DVD. Antonio Mayans did tons of Jess Franco films, many of which I've reviewed on this YouTube page. So he's a long history with him, and he does this film with Jess Franco. Now, this is a sequel to Alpiere vs. the Alligator Ladies, and this is... Antonio Mayans was in that original one that I have reviewed on this YouTube page already. You can find it, Alpiere vs. the Alligator Ladies. And he plays Alpiere. And in this film, now he's doing the film with Franco, and he's in the film as well as Alpiere, but it's more complicated than that. So I definitely suggest checking out the review of Alpiere vs. the Alligator Ladies first, and then checking out this one here. Now, this one is put out by Vial of Delicatessence, which also put out a soundtrack to Snake Woman as well. This is a company seemingly, I believe, from Spain. And this is not exactly easy to get, but it's Region 2, and there are English subtitles. This is the back here. And we're going to get into this film. I love that font. It's the same font from the first film, Alpiere vs. the Alligator Ladies. And I believe this is the official last film of Jess Franco, actually. So let's get into Revenge of the Alligator Ladies. What a fascinating, amazing film, and a great conclusion to my favorite director's life and career. I believe this is the last one. So let's get into this film. I loved Alpiere vs. the Alligator Ladies, and I was so excited to watch Revenge of the Alligator Ladies, because at the end of Alpiere vs. the Alligator Ladies, it says, you know, kind of coming next, Revenge of the Alligator Ladies. So here it is. This, if you know the first film, you will know maybe what you're getting yourself into. This really is a beautifully surreal and complex world of stories and stories within stories and kind of dreams within dreams and connections with Alpiere vs. the Alligator Ladies, and reality and surreality, and religion and morals and sexuality and asses, and a documentary of wonderful documentary of Jess Franco filming and directing, and Jess Franco meeting his fans, and Jess Franco in Berlin at a Jess Franco film festival, and documentary within reality, within surreality, and story within story, and taking reality and imposing surreality upon it, or fiction upon nonfiction. And sexuality and the dance of sexuality. And obviously, this goes well beyond breaking the fourth wall. For within Revenge of the Alligator Ladies, that's way too simple. When we look at the music for Revenge of the Alligator Ladies, in this complex, fascinating, magical film, we have music pieces that have been utilized in other Franco films before, like Tender Flesh, and some of the Manicoa Experience album that Franco released on vinyl and CD, I believe put out by Crippled Dick Wax. And we also have some pieces of music that I haven't heard before, from, I believe, Pablo Villa, who is, kind of I believe, a pseudonym for Daniel White. And so we have pieces of music that I've heard before in other Franco films, as well as pieces of music, of course, from Alpiere vs. the Alligator Ladies, the first film, but also new pieces of music that I've never heard before. Jazz, laid back summer Caribbean palm tree relaxation. Sultry, sleazy, wonderfully sexy jazz. And tinges of darkness and tinges of unsettled darkness in score and music. We have this complex world, and music takes the foreground for much of this surreal, fascinating film, because in many instances you are left with imagery and moving sexuality, much like experiences of Paula Paula, which I've also reviewed on this YouTube page. And so music is part and parcel with, music is the film. Style is the substance. Music is the substance. Moving pictures are the substance. Within this film, we unlike the first Alpiere versus the Alligator Ladies, we also have some very unique experimental digital effects in this film. Some interesting digital editing and effects incorporating the surreal qualities of possibly what has happened in Alpiere versus the Alligator Ladies, the first film, and some new perspectives from the same scenes from the first film, which is fascinating. There is an element of just the wondrous hypnotism of Jess Franco. I am an addict of Jess Franco. He is my drug. And this is a drug film. This is a film that you will drink deeply. One of the lines of dialogue is, "Would you like a rum and coke?" And the person says, "You know what?" He points to his stomach. "I'll just take a coke." And this film is the rum and coke. This film is the rum to most people. I think of films such as The Sex is Crazy, which I've reviewed on this YouTube page, and this seems to be a child of that. I think of Mansion of the Living Dead. I think of those films where Franco is pushing exactly where he wants to push, and makes cinema exactly what he wants it to be. A lot of people forget where Franco's roots are, and that is in the surreal, and that is in the free form flow of jazz. Revenge of the Alligators, Ladies, incorporates the same alligator ladies, and in the first film you realize that, I believe, one of the only references to why they are called the alligator ladies is to their vaginas being kind of alligators. And we have the same three women in this film, and their interactions with Alpiere, and their kind of his judgment of them, yet kind of connections to them and being allured by them, but also their pronunciations of judgment upon Alpiere as well, and how that impacts his life. Antonio Mayans is playing Antonio Mayans. Antonio Mayans is also playing Alpiere, and Antonio Mayans is playing Alpiere being played by Antonio Mayans. And Antonio Mayans is also playing Alpiere being played by Antonio Mayans, as directed by Jess Franco. That right there, friends, on this YouTube page, is exactly the world that we are entering into. We've fascinating areas of looking for Katia Bernard, I believe you pronounce her name, who was in The Story of Linda, which I've reviewed in this YouTube page. Also Diamonds of the Kilimanjaro. They're looking for her. And Antonio Mayans' son, and Catholicism, and mental retardation. And where Jess Franco is on the phone and where Antonio Mayans is with his granddaughter and traveling as Turks are after him and entering into someone's apartment as the film that we are watching is being edited in real time. I was watching this movie and I was completely enraptured into it, just like Alpietta versus the Alligator Ladies. And I had a tinge of sadness also as the film ended, because I knew what kind of end that meant, but also the life of this DVD right here. Alpietta, this revenge also encompasses wondrous humor from Franco. Wondrous, I don't even want to say black humor, I want to say avant-garde experimental humor from Jess Franco. And it's alive and well in this film as well. Involving subtext of homosexuality and with Antonio Mayans, in the worlds of Antonio Mayans, his own family, his own life, paranoia, perception, interpretation, perception of reality, perception of documentary reality, and formulating fiction upon non-fiction. In the sexuality of this film, we have full nudity from the Alligator Ladies and an emphasis upon their butts and their cheeks of their butts and their buttholes and their vaginas from behind, and getting a taste of the lesbian magic of the Alligator Ladies, their power, their sex magic, but also Jess Franco's direction magic within the power sex magic of the Alligator Ladies. This is 2013's Revenge of the Alligator Ladies by Jess Franco and Antonio Mayans. A piece, 87 minutes of magic. 87 minutes of magic. Put out by Vial of Delicatessens, and Alpietta vs. the Alligator Ladies is on Blu-ray. It is a region-free Blu-ray, beautiful Blu-ray. Check out the review for that, and you can see the Blu-ray up there. Not a cheap Blu-ray at all. And this wasn't cheap either, as I got this on Amazon UK. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about Jess Franco's films and other films that I believe need to be talked about more. Sexploitation, erotic, adult, horror, bizarre, underground, anything I feel like that I feel needs a better voice. Thank you so much, and please feel free to check out my own personal films at youtube.com/poopydiarrhea. Thank you, and good night.